Namaskar, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday meditation session. And feel free to announce yourselves as you come in. Hi, Anushila, Sylvia, Chitra. Today will be and Maria Luisa. Hello, Namaskar. Today will be the last of the sessions related to the Manomaya Kosha. Our Guru mentioned that one way to improve the efficiency of the Manomaya Kosha is the practice of pranayama. So we'll be looking at pranayama in a simple way today. Normally we don't teach pranayama publicly, so we'll do some simple forms of breath control. But clearly we need some way to control the thinking conscious mind. We've got we have so much potentiality in this mind, whether we want to create an argument, whether we want to analyze something, whether we want to be creative in a literary sense or a poetic sense, or simply to have a meaningful conversation. We need to be able to utilize the resources that we have in our cognitive mind. And we've all have the experience of getting distracted, not being able to focus for a long amount of time, even forgetting what we're supposed to be saying, or even what we're supposed to be doing. When we go to look for something, we forget what we're looking for. So then this is the challenge, is to harness the resources of the mind effectively so we can utilize the capacity of the mind to its optimal extent. And this is where we need to do certain things in life that can help us steady the mind. In fact, this term steadiness is a term that's really helpful for life in general. So somebody who is steady in life is somebody who understands that life is changing all the time. And the change is to be embraced and not resisted. Somebody who is embracing steadiness is somebody who's able to also not react to life. So when things don't go our way, when things don't work out as we would like, instead of reacting, we look at the situation with curiosity. So why is it happening in this way? And we respond to that situation intelligently. So steadiness in that sense becomes important. It's not necessarily, as is sometimes portrayed in society, as being the perfect person with the perfect looks, dressing in the perfect way to always be successful. That's not realistic. Life is not perfect all the time, and we have to embrace the imperfection. So somebody who is able to develop steadiness is able to come back to balance. There's the understanding that we will always come out of balance at different times in life. And steadiness implies we're able to come back to balance relatively quickly. We can use different skills in life in order to build our capacity to be steady. And let's go through some of them before we get to the one in question today, which is pranayama. What's important in life is to find the right pace. Let's say we're riding a bicycle down a hill and maybe we're picking up speed, and at one point we could be completely out of control, and we just pray that nothing happens. We don't hit a major bump or something. sometimes in life it's like that. We kind of get out of control in the sense that we move too quickly. We're trying to cram too many things in life. We're getting too busy. And ultimately we get stressed out, and we just break down perhaps. So we need to find a way to pace life intelligently so we can achieve what we need to while maintaining equilibrium. Another way to maintain stability is to put ourselves into different situations in life. So we've got the sympathetic side of the nervous system and the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. The sympathetic side engages when we are engaged, when we're active. So now, for example, I'm giving a little talk here. So my sympathetic nervous system is active, so that I can perform optimally. So then we need to put ourselves into situations maybe where we feel a bit uncomfortable, to push our capacity to engage effectively. So maybe we don't like public speaking, so we put ourselves in a situation where we have to speak publicly. Maybe we don't like going places where there are lots of people. So put ourselves in situations where we are socializing with many people. We can see in life where we find resistance, where we find maybe fears, and we try to go into those situations, to master those situations, to be comfortable in those situations. Conversely, on the other side, on the parasympathetic side, we need to be able to relax at will. When one sees certain animals, they can be in a highly stressful mode when they're being chased by a predator. And when the predator leaves, immediately they will calm down, or very soon after, they will calm down and relax. They don't hold in their mind memories of the negative situation, which we human beings do. And sometimes we have trouble relaxing. We can't just turn on the relaxation mode. So, but this is the ideal. And so being able to engage, to move through our fears, to move through our blockages on the one hand, and on the other hand, being able to relax and calm ourselves down. The technical term for this is autonomic flexibility. We can be flexible, whether we're fully engaged or fully relaxed. Another way to build stability is impulse control. Now, this obviously is very important. Let's say we are working on something that is crucial, and we have a desire to stop. We're tired. So the impulse is to leave the work. So in those situations, we just push ourselves to go a little bit further. Or maybe we are fasting and we have a desire to eat. I can't continue this fast. I want to drink something or eat something. So then we say, no, just go for another hour or another 2 hours. So we find those situations where we become impulsive. We want to suddenly do something different. And we keep moving with the activity. So we resist the impulse to do something, especially, of course, when we could do something that might be harmful. So let's say we're in a conversation with somebody, we're getting angry, and there's an impulse to say some angry words, then we hold back. So this will also build our capacity to be steady. It'll improve our capacity to self-regulate, for self-control. A very simple one is just simply to build strength in the body. If one looks at elderly people, they're often unsteady when they're walking around. If there's strength in the muscles, if there's tone in the muscles, then we have much more stability and we feel much more confident in ourselves as we age. So that's a fairly simple one, because one can simply go to the gym and do exercise to build strength in the body. So those are some ways that we can build stability. Today we are looking at the practice of pranayama. So pranayama is control of the breath. And we've all experienced how the breath and the emotion are connected. So if we are anxious, then the breath will accelerate. If we're emotionally calm, if we're happy, the breath will be normal. If we're angry, then the breath can be like more rapid. If we're at peace, then the breath is going to be calm. So the emotion, so the breath. And if one flips that around, so the breath, so the emotion. So we can regulate our breath to regulate our emotions. And let's look at some of the ways that we can do that, and which we'll do in the meditation today. First of all, the exhalation. The exhalation is normally longer than the inhalation. The ratio is about 2 counts inhalation, 3 counts exhalation. The exhalation is helpful because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. We have what's called heart rate variability. So the beating of the heart changes with the inhalation and the exhalation. It accelerates with the inhalation. It decelerates with the exhalation. So when we exhale, we activate the vagus nerve, which calms the heart. Exhalation then is a great way to find steadiness. If we're feeling agitated, we can easily calm ourselves down by lengthening the exhalation. A very simple way of regulating the breath. Secondly is finding stability in the breath itself. So in terms of the breath, stability means that there's consistency in the breath over time. And consistency will be in the speed of the breath. So an anxious breath may be, it's kind of a jagged breath. There's no consistency through the length of the breath. So with a steady breath, we're looking for consistency in the speed of the breath and the volume of the breath and the force of the breath. So we'll look at that in our meditation. This is important for people who have professions that take them in difficult places, like, say, a police officer who's trying to negotiate with somebody to not jump off a bridge, or a firefighter, or if one is dealing with people who are maybe fighting with each other, arguing with each other, shouting at each other, or even dealing with people who are distressed. One has to then regulate one's breath in those situations. One can easily be caught up in the emotion or the intensity or the fear of the situation. By regulating the breath, by making it steady over time, one can maintain steadiness in the mind. And this is something we can consciously do. And then we have the Kumbaka, which is the holding of the breath, another way that we regulate the breath. Kumbaka, which we've seen before. I mean, we've done a whole session on Kumbaka. Kumbaka is the space between the breaths. And in Tantra, this is significant because it's the place of transcending relativity. One of our challenges is we get caught up in the opposites of life. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad, sometimes we're angry, sometimes we're peaceful. And we say, well, why can't I just be more balanced? A way to find the balance is to enter into this Kumbaka space to settle there, to immerse the mind there as a place that's symbolizing this peaceful place of equanimity between the poles of life, between the extremes of life, between the ups and downs of life. So it's a place of very deep peace. Another way that we can bring steadiness, the name of the pranayama that we use is Vistara pranayama. And Vistara is the name of somebody who was always calm in battle. So battle, obviously, the struggle, the fight, is a place of intensity. And so the idea then, by perfecting Kumbaka, is to be calm even when one is engaging in action. So it's not as if the space between the breaths is an exception. It's as if the space between the breaths is the underlying foundation upon which the breath is functioning, or upon which one is engaging in life. So to try to maintain this calm, this calmness, this equanimity inside, even while acting. And this we'll explore also in today's meditation. So when one can do all of those things with the breath, one can lengthen the exhalation, one can bring steadiness over time to the breaths, one can absorb the peace of the pause, one achieves what's called coherent breathing, which is normally a breath that's 4 to 6 breaths per minute. And coherence is a state where all the systems of the body are functioning together harmoniously, or in which one is feeling that all of the aspects of life are as they should be, even if things aren't going as one would like. There's still a sense, well, everything is happening for the purpose it's supposed to happen. There's a sense of acceptance of what's happening, even as one tries to change it. We can do these little techniques with the breath at any time during the day, especially when we feel that we're getting a little agitated or a little excited. We can immediately regulate ourselves with the breath. And this is one nice thing about, I guess, meditation in general, that it doesn't just have to be something that we do at a certain specific time, but it's something we can incorporate into daily life at all times. We will then close for the day. So thanks to everybody for coming along, and best wishes to you for everything you do. And we'll meet again. Bye-bye.